Yes, guys, good evening and welcome to KT Sports and welcome to the Clutch Conversations podcast, the opening episode, the debut episode. Going to be trying to incorporate a few of these a little bit. We're getting guests on, talking a little bit about sport. And today we're obviously going to be talking about the big game tomorrow, Villa against Liverpool, massive Premier League game. Hugely anticipated, especially considering the context behind Liverpool's title pursuit. And what other guest to get on, no better than the main man himself, Uncle Roz. Please give a warm welcome to Uncle Roz. Personally, mate, how are you, mate? How's things?
I am fine. I'm happy to be on it. I didn't realise it was the first show, and it's debuting. So listen, happy to be a part of the show. Really happy to be a part of the show, my friend.
No, all good, mate. And pleasure to have you on. How have you been though? Personally, how's things been for you? And how's things for you, Uncle Rod?
Not bad, apart from the cold weather and that, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just it's just life in it, really. Do you know what I mean? It's just basically doing your day-to-day things and sort of basically welcoming the next day, do you know what I mean? And supporting our beloved club and stuff. So yeah, it's been good. I mean, I can't complain. Beginning of the year, and we're already nearly in March already, so that's never a good sign when it goes so fast. But it's all good.
All going good. And the one benefit, I guess, with time going so fast is that, hopefully we can fast forward to May and see if Liverpool have won the league title by then. What have you made of Liverpool's performances recently? Obviously sitting in a very comfortable position with 7 points. Can make that 10 tomorrow. Obviously still, title race on whatever you want to make of it. But how have you, assessed Liverpool's performances?
I mean, they started off well, and I put it down to the fact that what Klopp's left us. Do you know what I mean? He's left Liverpool in a better shape than what he found it. Do you know what I mean? And he always promised that he would do that. That he's going to leave Liverpool better than what he found it. Do you know what I mean? And he's kept his promise. So what it is is Arne Slot has been given a platform in which to do greatness on now. Do you know what I mean? And so far, this league started off, it speaks for itself, what we've been doing. Do you know what I mean? We're 7 points clear. Do you know what I mean? Some of the games that we played, some of them have been good. Exactly. So, yeah, very good. But some of them at the day, we just got over the line. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Personally, with me, I'm not too bothered as long as we get the 3 points. Because you cannot be expected to play magnificent all the time. It's just going to be some games at the day where you're just going to cross the line, or you know what I mean, and then you're not going to look too good. But listen, I think the season at the day speaks for itself where we're at. Do you know what I mean? I just hope at the day we can build on that. We can build on that and go on and sort of get this 20th title. Do you know what I mean? So we can start looking at the Man United guys and say, look, we're there now. Yeah. And we got there without sort of having your manager sitting on the board of the Premiership. Do you know what I mean? I was just listening to this podcast a minute ago. Do you know what I mean? A while ago. I was relaxing into this podcast, and it was this guy. It's a Liverpool guy, and he was talking about sort of the corruption with the referees and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was so good. I think I'm going to do a show on it. You know what I mean? Where I dissect it. But listen, we're there. Do you know what I mean? We're 10 points clear, and I've got a feeling that then we can go 10 points clear tomorrow. I mean, before Arsenal play on Saturday and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So onwards and upwards. That's what I say, mate. Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. And I remember we had a conversation at the start of the season, and it was, I think it was on Fozzie's channel actually. We were talking about obviously the expectation for success this year. I think Anton said, realistically, Liverpool should be happy with, just getting top four, considering it was a sort of a transition year in the slot. I remember you kind of doubled down on your stance that, you felt that Liverpool, we needed, the expectation is winning silverware. Has that prediction and that expectation turned out to be quite how you envisaged back then? So
No. I didn't think it would be. I didn't think we'd because look, listen, it's no mistake and it's no secret. I say no secret, not my mistake, but no secret, and that I've expressed my feelings towards Arne Slot. Yeah. Now, when I say that, now I don't hate the guy because I don't know him, so how can I hate him? Do you know what I mean? My feelings was at the days that he wasn't experienced enough to take to take on the baton. You know what I mean? For the baton to be passed to him to take on what was expected at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I think many fans didn't think that. That's why certain fans probably would have said, and the expectation is top four. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now, my thing is that after having something like Jurgen Klopp, your expectations cannot be top four anymore. It cannot be top four. It has to be higher than that. Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm getting at? Because here's a man that's come to the club at the day, right? And he's done what he said he's gonna do. He's turned doubters into believers. He's done that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're then believing at the day that so like we can do stuff. So he's come, right? He's given us the league that we ain't won in 30 years, right? Prior to that, he given us another Champions League trophy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, right. And so we can't sort of like expect to just to get to top four now. You know what I mean? Because we know, right? We all know as fans, had Jurgen Klopp, right, being backed, one, and then he would have won more trophies, and two, he'd probably still be at the club. He'd still be at the club. Do you know what I'm saying? He's just like, he literally loved Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So my expectations was always going to be high because like what it was with Klopp set the bar high. When he come in and we galvanized the team, you know what I mean? He changed up the way we played and he just changed up everything for the better. Your expectations got to be higher because of what he won. Do you know what I mean? He won like the league. He won the Champions League, 2 Carabao Cups and an FA Cup. Now you can't tell me at the end of the day you want to go back to top four now. Just getting top four. It just doesn't make no sense. Your expectation at the end of the day has got to be higher for the remarkable job of what he's done at Liverpool. Your expectations got to be higher. Do you know what I mean? You know, than what it was.
Yeah, well, it is the passing of the baton, really, and you know, there's still top quality players. So I get where you're coming from. I think the expectation to, you know, deliver as well and you know maintain that, you know, should be expected given the quality and you know the influx of, you know quality that is within the squad. But obviously, we'll you know Villa play Liverpool tomorrow. How are you feeling about this game in isolation? Because you know we're obviously coming off the back of a. You know, not the most impressive performance, but when again you just have to get the 3 points and grind the results out. You know, we know to win the league title, you're going to need to learn to win ugly. How are you sort of feeling towards this game, especially going away from home against a Villa side who, you know, do have have got an identity under Unai Emery?
Yeah. I mean, they've got a good identity. That's another thing. Like Unai Emery. He's coming to Villa, and he's done amazing work. He reminds me of like a Klopp in a sort of way. He's done amazing work. He's changed up the team. He's brought a good crop of players together. Do you know what I mean? And got them playing sort of like good football. Do you know what I mean? The only problem about Villa that I seem to see with Villa is they're not consistent. They're not consistent in the way that they play, not consistent in the way of their results. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Because, for instance, they can, they could probably beat Chelsea at home, yeah. But then what will happen today? The following week, right, or the following time they play at home, they'll probably draw against Ipswich. They shouldn't be drawing against Ipswich. I'm sorry, I'm no disrespect to Ipswich, right? Yeah. Because at one time, Ipswich was that team, yeah, right? But they shouldn't be drawing against Ipswich. They should, you know what I mean? And the thing is about with them drawing against Ipswich, they've drawn with Ipswich home and away. When they played them at not Bramall Lane, down Ipswich, I can't forget what their ground is called. When they played them down there, they drew. Yeah. And then, you would expect it, like when they got to Aston Villa, when they got to Villa Park, you would expect it they playing at home with the players they got, you'd expect it that Villa to beat them 2-1 or like 3-1. Do you know what I mean? Yeah?
Yeah.
But it was 1-1. And they struggled at the day, right, to get that goal. Because remember at the day, it's like Ipswich scored first. And Ipswich as well were down to 10 men. They're down to 10 men. And you only managed to scrape a point out of that. So they're not consistent in their results. Do you know what I mean? So one would expect on a day for Liverpool Liverpool are shooting for the title. Do you know what I mean? They're on a good steady run. One would feel at the day, tomorrow at the day, is time at the day for Liverpool to prove at the day where you know what, we can go on at the day and win the title. You know what I mean? I feel confident at the day that we can get the result tomorrow. I do feel confident. It might not go that way, but I do feel confident we can go to Villa Park tomorrow and get a result. Do you know what I mean? Because what seems to be happening with Liverpool is that the day, when they're not playing well, they seem to still be getting that result. I mean, the other day against sort of like Wolves, I didn't think we played that bad. I think the first half, I thought we played reasonably well in the first half. Yeah, because look, we was 2-0 up, so we must have been doing something right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But I thought in the second half, after I thought that's when we kind of like started to sort of wither away a bit. Do you know what I mean? Being a bit consistent, inconsistent with our performance and stuff. I thought I did big up Jamie Phillips. I did feel it in the day with when Kwanzaa come on, that kind of disrupted the defense. If you understand what I mean, but however, he did make a goal saving block. Do you know what I mean? Which will have brought it to 2-2. Do you know what I mean? So like it leveled itself out. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel confident tomorrow that we can go there tomorrow and get that victory. If he plays the team and day that. All right, I've done my show earlier on the Matt preview. If he plays the players at the end of the day, right? I know we might obviously go into the player lineup a bit later on, so that's why I don't want to say too much about it. But if he does play the players at the end of the day that I put down, I'm confident we can get a victory. I'm confident.
Yeah, I think it does come down to the confidence, and ultimately, Liverpool have to win ugly, as you said, and like. Looking at Liverpool's away form, Liverpool remain unbeaten in their last 13 away Premier League matches. Villa's home record, even though they are strong at home, the last 14 Premier League encounters between the two sides, Villa have just won once against Liverpool with 2 draws and 11 losses. So, even though Villa have, a very poor record against Liverpool head-to-head, they come in recency bias suggests that it will be, fireworks tomorrow in the sense that Liverpool and Villa sets up that game on a bit of a knife edge. But talking about obviously the boost and the sort of statement it would be to produce a result like against a side like Villa, City on the weekend, Newcastle. Are you in the camp, and do you believe that if Liverpool were to get 9 points out of 9, how much of a statement would that be, to the point where would you assume that Liverpool have one hand on the title?
Be looking good, though, wouldn't it? It'd be looking good, wouldn't it? It'd be looking good. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, right, if we, beat Villa on tomorrow, beat Bournemouth, beat Man City, right, on Sunday, then obviously what Newcastle, we beat them, because I think we can beat Newcastle at Anfield. I do feel that. You beat that and you think to yourself, look, you start to think we're on our way, mate. We're on our way. Do you know what I mean? Because like I still feel that in the day that sort of like there are a couple of games that in the day that sort of like Arsenal could slip up on. I still feel there's a couple of games that Man City can slip up on. Do you know what I mean? Because they've only just found their form a little bit. I mean, listen, right, they're playing tonight, aren't they? Yeah. Oh no, it's tomorrow night they're playing, aren't they? They're playing tomorrow.
Well, Liverpool actually, I don't think they've got a game tomorrow, Arsenal. So Liverpool can go.
No, Man City. Man City's playing
Oh,
tomorrow
Man
night.
City. I'll double
Champions
check
League.
that for you. But yeah, they are
Champions-
playing Real Madrid. Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Now, it only takes a bad result at the end of the day against Real Madrid, right? And then all of a sudden, and they sort of like on Sunday, and then their confidence is down. And everything. I think this probably is the right time to play Man City, because if we get a good result tomorrow night against Villa, and they get a bad result against Real Madrid, because I don't think they'll beat Real Madrid tomorrow. I think they're going out tomorrow. That's why I feel that the Man City are going out of Champions League tomorrow, right? If they get a bad result tomorrow, right? All of a sudden today, right? Liverpool's confidence is up and their confidence is down. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean? So it probably is the right time to play them. Listen, if we get 9 points out of 9 points out of 9, yeah, you're gonna start believing it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of them where, like, how much of a statement that does for us, I think psychologically, how much of a dent that is to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, winning those 3 games, you look at them in isolation. Villa, I think Arsenal have always had a bit of a problem against Villa. City, obviously, they failed to win at the Etihad at the start of the season, albeit much has changed since then. But, they struggled to go to the Etihad and produce. And then, that Newcastle game, they just come off the back of an absolute thumping in the Carabao Cup, on 2 separate occasions. So, there is a ground to say, well, if Liverpool produce 9 out of 9 psychologically, and the implications of that, it massively dents them. On the same token, you could look at it, well, if Liverpool go 10 points clear tomorrow, it goes into that, that sort of, that situation where we'd have to play second and it'd be slightly more pressure to kind of level it back out again. We're now, the ball's in our court to go 10 points clear, and then it's on Arsenal. I feel like they've got that pressure then to really cut the gap, because they've just got no room for error then. Do you know what I mean? So 3 massive games, and obviously Liverpool lineup is important. We've spoke a little bit about that. What we know is that Joe Gomez and Cody Gakpo, I don't think they'll make it. Joe Gomez is out for a few weeks. Gakpo is
7 weeks. 7 weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks.
7 weeks for Joe Gomez, but he's looking a bit more obviously better for Cody Gakpo. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so obviously it's a bit disappointing for Joe Gomez. He come back and then the hamstring is gone then as well. Liverpool also can they rely on the likes of Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott? We're going to be talking about that a little bit. Firstly, Billy, do you think these players are good enough based off what you've seen? And, if not, or why, let me know what your opinion is of those 2 players and whether or not they're good enough.
Federico Chiesa, I mean, he's come to England and come to Liverpool with a lot of promise, hasn't he? You know what I mean? A lot of promise of, like, what he did at Fiorentina and at Juventus. Do you know what I mean? But I'm obviously a bit dubious of like why why Juventus so much wanted to get to push him out the door. Do you know what I mean? Because listen, this is £100 million player, and we got him for like 10 million. Do you know what I mean? We literally got him for 10 million, didn't they? Which is like, it was literally sort of like the money that sort of like that we got from what's it call it? What's that guy's name? Dominic Solanke. The sell-on clause. Remember, we got sell-on clause for that. Yeah, it was literally the money we got from there, and we just put that to there, and it's like, so basically, in there, I tend to worry. Now, however, when he's being fit and he's come in, he's shown flashes at the end of the day, sort of like of what he could be, yeah. But unfortunately, I just don't think he's there yet. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's there yet in the real scheme of things of like being, that player that we want. Harvey Elliott, he's had a bit of a rough start so far, hasn't he? He's had a bit of a rough start.
And the slot, he's found it difficult, I think.
Yeah, and what I've noticed at the day with when he played that Plymouth game, he was awful, wasn't he? He was awful.
Yeah,
That's the worst I've ever seen him play in a sort of in a Liverpool shirt. That's the worst I've ever seen him play. I mean, obviously, Frederick Chiesa didn't sort of like cover himself in any glory, did he? Really? Do you know what I mean? You know, so
winning day for both of them. They both struggled, didn't they?
it was horrible. It was literally at the end of the day horrible to sort of like to sort of like see. Do you know what I mean? You know, so I'm not too sure what the future is for sort of like Harvey Elliott and Frederick Chiesa, because I only start seeing that sort of person, and if you're not cutting it, it will get rid of you. Do you know what I mean? You'll go. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, hang tight. I'm just gonna go out and come back in again because I'm frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go. I'll be about 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Not really.
Yeah, so my stance on the whole Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott thing. I personally, I think Elliott is 21 years old, Chiesa's 27. Let's start with Chiesa. Firstly, guys, big up to everybody who's watching. Please get involved with your thoughts, and obviously Uncle Rod's is giving his perspective as well. We'd love to kind of gauge your thoughts and answer any questions you may have. So get them in, fill them in down in the comments. But no, as for the likes of Chiesa, he's come in at 27 years old. Rod's mentioned the fact that, Juventus were kind of pushing him out the door, which was a bit strange, especially considering the potential, especially given the age. 27 years old, a player who's literally approaching, if not already in their peak on paper, when you're talking about age and, potential. But it's just not set up for him. He's only got a goal against Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup. And I'm in the camp that, it is difficult to build minutes and build consistency when you're only coming in, once every few games, or slots, dropped due to the development in the academy to keep up your match sharpness, but you're not really getting the minutes in the top flight. I understand that. It's hard to really establish that same level of consistency that you would get if you were playing week in, week out. But Chiesa has to have that break. And I think Chiesa, one thing I will credit him for, I'm not slating him for, is whenever I've seen him play, he's always really showed that effort to try and do something within the game. And if he'll miss a shot, he'll work his backside off to try and win the ball back to get another chance off. That persistence there, I think, could keep him on the side and on the camp of, Liverpool fans could, lose patience with him a lot slower, given the fact that he's a lot more persistent and is obviously persistent. But in my personal opinion, given what I've seen so far, I can come to the conclusion that at the moment he is not good enough for Liverpool. As for Elliott, then on the other hand, 21 years old, he's had a bit of a difficult time under Slot, found it really difficult to establish himself. To the same token, Slot has, now we're out of the cup, Slot doesn't have that same license to utilize Elliott in a way that would give him that opportunity to really showcase what he's capable of. I'm in the camp that Elliott still has time to prove himself. That game against Plymouth, which me and Uncle Rod's alluded to, was very, very poor, very, very shocking. He was one of the worst players, on that pitch at the time. Worst performances I've seen of Elliott in the Liverpool shirt. But given the quality and given the potential, and I still think there's games where Elliott has shown and proven that he can play at that level. He just needs time to find that form. I wouldn't come to the conclusion that Elliott isn't good enough for Liverpool just yet, because every player goes through a period where they struggle for a bit of confidence, they struggle for a bit of form. Elliott's still very young. I still think from what we've seen so far over the case study of Harvey Elliott since we signed him back in 2019, I think, given that Harvey Elliott, which we've seen over the last 5 years, I think we can generally come to the conclusion that there is a quality player there. We just need to utilize him in the right way. And if that is, in a different system elsewhere, not in Liverpool, then, best of luck to him. Slots come in and maybe his system doesn't quite coincide with Elliott's characteristics and strengths as a player, that, maybe he would have aligned better with Jurgen Klopp's style of play. Who knows? we just got to wait and see. And I think, patience is one of those things. We got to give Elliott the right time. Chiesa's on a bit more of a tightrope, I think, considering he's come in, given this sort of, he's been on the radar for quite some time of Europe, in Europe as a player who can make an impact. Given his age, taking into account all these factors as well, taking into account, obviously, Salah's going at the end of the year if he doesn't sign a contract, then you're starting to think, well, that is Chiesa's time to step up. And if he doesn't step up, Liverpool fans will look to get on the course that, he's not good enough. We'll just have to wait and see. But Uncle Rod's is back in now, so hopefully he's
sorry about that, my friend.
No worries, mate. I was just going over my thoughts on the Chiesa and Elliott stuff. Obviously, you were midway through a point there as well. I'm in the camp personally that I think over the last few years, from what we've seen of Elliott, in the case study we've seen of Elliott, there is definitely a player there. I just question whether or not his characteristics and his strengths coincide with Slot's system. I really do question that. I think I would be naive to come to the conclusion to say Elliott's not good enough. I would give him time. With Chiesa, I think it's slightly different considering the age. He's 27 years old. He's come in. He's been on the European radar. People know about him. And I would really question the whole. I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool at this moment in time. But I think these next 10 to 12 months, given the context of the situation behind Salah, if Salah goes, then it is massive for Chiesa. And I think it really does heighten the importance for him to play well. Otherwise, I will come to the conclusion that he is not good enough. I'm in the camp that personally right now, from what I've seen, a goal against Accrington Stanley. Other than that, nothing really significant to really talk about.
No, you're right.
12 months, I think, will be a massive, massive period. Would you agree with that?
No, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, listen, I've had the pleasure of seeing him live. Do you know what I mean? When I went to the Liverpool versus Lille, I went to that game. Good game it was, and he came on. And I'll be honest with you, he did make a difference. Do you know what I mean? He did make a difference when he came on. He started to obviously break up play and having shots on goal and so forth. I mean, even sort of like you looked at Harvey Elliott, he was good that night because remember he equalised for us. Do you know what I mean? To make it 2-1. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Harvey Elliott. The things about Harvey Elliott has been in this club for quite a while now. He's even had the pleasure of going out on loan, getting a bit of experience and coming back. Remember, he spent the season on loan at Blackburn. And he came back to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So one would expect him to be doing a lot more better than what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When a new manager comes in, you have to you have to adjust and adjust quickly. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. I mean, the rest of the squad has done it. Look at Curtis Jones. Now, Curtis Jones is probably arguably playing probably the best football of his life. Do you know what I mean? And this is under Arne Slot. Do you know what I mean? McAllister is doing his thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like Kanate is doing his thing. Robertson is not so bad. The teams are doing their thing. Do you know what I mean? You have to adjust. Do you know what I mean? And if you're a player that cannot adjust to sort of like another manager or another head coach, because he's a head coach, if you're a player like that, well, then we have to question you as a player. We don't have to question you as a player because you're supposed to be able to adjust to a different style of playing. Even if you don't like it, you're supposed to be able to adjust to it. Do you know what I mean? And there's been a couple of games where I've seen Harvey Elliott and he's come on and he's looked a bit. I tell you what, apart from that Lille game, the game against Lille, he looked a bit poor in some aspects. Now, the other day now, when it was sort of like we played Plymouth, that was his chance at the day to really give the manager and the head coach, a headache. He's trying to give him a headache and say, look, I'm here, I'm available, I'm good enough, pick me. Do you know what I mean? But like judging on that, what he done the other day at Plymouth, If I was that manager, I wouldn't be in a hurry to be picking him. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you got Chiesa, as you said, he's 27 years old. He's been in the European scene. He's been at Fiorentina. He's been at Juventus. At one time, he was the most sought after player. You know what I mean? This is a player that everybody wanted. You know what I mean? And then you come to Liverpool, and you're not really doing much, are you? You're not doing much. You're not doing what we expect you to be doing. Do you know what I mean? You know, everybody's waiting for you to sort of like, you know, show us something. Do you know what I mean? You know, and like, again, you played that sort of like Plymouth. That was your ideal chance to do something. You didn't do anything. You was abysmal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then we got asked ourselves this at the end of the day, right? Are we at the end of the day, right? What's that word? Cutthroat, sort of like, to say, well, look, you know what I mean? Ship those players along and get some better players in. You know what I mean? Because sometimes at the day, you can be nice all you want, but if they're not cutting it, it's time to cut your losses. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what? We need better. We demand better. Because listen, if we win the league this season, right, and better so, if we win the Champions League this season, right, we are going to be looking next season and day, right, to better that, or at least do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? At least sort of like win one out of those two things. Like, you know, even if we won the league again, if we only won the Champions League again, it'll be good if we can win both of them again. Do you know what I'm saying? These are things that they were expected to do next season. We're expected to kick on. Now, if you've got players in your team and they that are not consistent, that are not sort of like rising to the occasion, well then, what's it doing for your team?
Yeah, it is really the question you have to ask. Obviously, conversation, a lot of discussion still yet to be had. I think we just got to wait and see. But I'm with you on the whole cutthroat mentality. I think ultimately, when you look at the top teams, and dare I say, you look at Manchester United when they were at the peak of their powers, Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't afraid to cut players who were realistically not good enough, or, you know, he always was looking to evolve the squad in a way that would, you know, push the player ahead, or, you know what I mean, try and maximize the whole potential. So I think, you know, taking the nostalgic element out of you know, the game, that is the way to win and, you know, create a legacy and a longevity of success. And obviously, talking about cutthroat, the season could be have a very cutthroat end to it. Imagine the potential for success, and then you're getting smacked with the news that all Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Virgil van Dijk are leaving for free. Obviously, Uncle Rod's, we're nearly into March now. What is your stance on this personally? What is your opinion? And if you have to give us a prediction on what actually happens, do the club renew the contracts? Let me know what that is.
It's not good. It's not good. I mean, there's no way a club like Liverpool, should be in this position right now. There's no way. You know what I mean? No way can anybody explain it to me and said this is acceptable. That three of our biggest players, right, are into the last year of their contract. We don't know what's happening. Do you know what I mean? We got Richard Hughes has been brought in to our club, and they as a new sporting director. You got people saying how great Richard Hughes is, and I'm asking them, and they're, well, what's he done? He goes, oh well, you know, at Bournemouth. We're not Bournemouth.
Yeah, we're
a Liverpool Football Club. Do you know what I mean? With massive heritage, and a cabinet, and in the day, right, a trophy cabinet that teams all over Europe will be envious of. Do you know what I mean? We are not Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? So I want to know what this guy's done. I want to know at the day sort of why he's at Liverpool Football Club, because since he's been at Liverpool Football Club, what's he done? Do you know what I mean? What's he seriously done at Liverpool Football Club that we can say, yeah, you know what? Yes, that was a major coup getting Richard Hughes from Bournemouth? And the answer is nada. Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Right? Like in January now, right? When he's supposed to get these contracts sorted out, the next thing you're hearing that he's going on a holiday to Italy for 2 weeks. Well, what have you done to get a vacation? To earn a vacation? What have you done? You're just listen. You got people and right with Liverpool Football Club leeching off Liverpool Football Club. They're leeching off Liverpool Football Club, and I would even put FSG in there as well. They're leeching off Liverpool Football Club. They're treating Liverpool and Football Club as a cash cow, right? And people like Michael Edwards, he's getting paid, and it's not sort of like let's not make no mistakes here. Richard Hughes is getting paid a lot of money for his position at Liverpool Football Club, yeah, and he's done nothing. He should be the one that to tie up these deals like Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander, and Van Dijk. He should be tying them up, or at least be giving us information at the end of the day on what's actually happening with these our three best players. He should be giving us information, like whether it's close or like the negotiation, this or that. He should be giving us defining answers, but he's not. He's just not saying nothing. Yeah. Just saying nothing. And I honestly, you know what? I every day it gets closer to May. Makes me feel it today. They're going to let these guys walk. They're going to let these guys walk free because they've done it before. Do you remember Gini Wijnaldum? How important Gini Wijnaldum was for the club? He asked for a pay rise, yeah? Rather than giving them a pay rise, they let him go for free.
Yeah, and then look what happened. And look what happened then.
Exactly. And our midfield was never the same from that. It was never the same. We just about got it right now with Ryan Gravenberch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, you know, so what they're gonna do now when it comes to Ryan Gravenberch, they're gonna burn him out. I'm telling you, listen, Ryan Gravenberch is playing well at the moment, yeah? Playing well at the moment, and I like the fact that he's in midfield, right? But that's just papering on the cracks, right? Because Ryan Gravenberch needs somebody as a backup. He needs someone to back up, yeah? Right? So he doesn't have to play so many games. Or what they're gonna do at the end of the day, right, is they're gonna burn this kid out, right? Then what's gonna happen at the end of the day is like he's gonna start playing a couple of games at the end of the day where he's burnt out, right? Yeah, and he doesn't perform well, and then people gonna start cussing him. So, oh, he's rubbish. He's this and he's that. Do you know what I mean? He can't run, can't tackle, can't do this and that. It's not that. It's just that he's burnt out. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna burn this kid out. And the mere fact at the end of the day that sort of like Mo Salah and Trent Alexander and Virgil van Dijk have not signed a deal yet. I ain't gonna lie to you. It makes me worried. It makes me worried because these guys. Right, you got games, yeah? You got games, right? And we know at the end of the day, right, if Mo Salah doesn't score, sometimes we don't get a goal. You know what I mean? So you're gonna sort of like let your most prolific striker go for a free.
Yeah, 37 goal contributions this season.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's prolific. He's a prolific player, right? They've done the same to Mane. Sadio Mane and Dave, which to me, I've said this time and time again. Yeah, I always rated Mane better than Salah. Yeah. If you look at Salah's all-round game, this is what people don't look at, right? Real talk, right? This is what people don't look at. When they look at Salah, just look at the goals he scores. They say, oh yeah, he's scoring good goal and that goal and that contribution and that, right? Yeah, which is good. Don't get me wrong, it is good, yeah. But when Mane was there, right? Yeah, Mane was scoring goals, and it was all-round game, right? I point you to a game at the day when we played Man United at not Old Trafford, at Anfield, yeah, and Mane received the ball, right? He made a pass at the day that bent round him, landed straight on Mo Salah's feet. Yeah.
Do you
remember that? Yeah, the 4-0. Yeah. Do you remember that, right? Do you realize it? He done that without looking. It was
Yeah.
the first time pass. He done it without looking. He just done it like that. You understand what I'm getting at, right? That's what you call a footballer, right? So we had a world-class player in our squad, didn't they? We had goals coming from the left, we had goals coming from the right, and sometimes goals coming from the middle. Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying? With Bobby Firmino, yeah?
Yeah.
We had that goal contribution. Since Mo Salah's gone, I'm not Mo Salah, Sadio Mane's gone, yeah? We haven't had that again because we got Luis Diaz in, yeah? And when Luis Diaz receives the ball on left hand side, right, he looks up at the player and he shits himself and looks back and passes the ball backwards. I'm telling you, he gets scared. He gets scared to take on a player. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've let Sadio Mane go for 35 million, yeah, because he wanted the same money as what Salah did, yeah. So other than that, giving him the same money that Salah's giving Salah, you didn't do that. You know what I mean? You just sort of like said, well, you can go for 35 million, then you can go to Bayern Munich for 35 million. So that's what they'll do. If they don't accept the terms, if Mo Salah, Trent Alexander, Virgil van Dijk do not accept the terms at the day that FSG set out for them, they will let them go. They'll just let them go and say, well, you can go then. Other than giving money. And I think at the end of the day, personally, I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening. I think at the end of the season, these 3 players are going to go. And I'm telling you for a fact at the end of the day, right, if these 3 players go, right, yeah, they should be uproar. There's no way we as fans at the end of the day, right, should stand for that. That should be the end of FSG. That should be the end of FSG. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm not an FSG fan as it is, but obviously at the end of the day, you know, these are the owners that we've got. You know, we just got to, like, you know, put up with them, yeah? But I'm telling you today, right, this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. If these 3 players leave, right, the club, they should be uproar, and it should be the end of FSG, because we've had 15 years at the day of them messing us about. 15 years of them messing us about. Do you realize that today, if they sort of like was to sort of like you know, give a stuff about sort of like our club at the day, right? Do you realize how many sort of like trophies that Jurgen Klopp could have won? He could have won. He could have won so much silverware. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think. To me, at the end of the day, I don't think they should be allowed to get away with it. If these 3 guys go on a free, I don't think at the end of the day they should be allowed to get away with it. But hey, they might surprise me and get the contract signed.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not sure that they get done, because Billy, there was this suggestion and this ideology that the reason it actually didn't happen was because Klopp announced that he was leaving at a time in the season which would have been the ideal time to renew. Would have been about 18 months left on each of these 3 deals, and then obviously the priority shifted. These were put on the back burner. But I'm sorry, I can't buy into that logic, because at the same token, you've still, you've got responsibilities, and if you're going to Italy on a 2-week holiday, it's like, you know what I mean? I think it's crazy how they're letting these 3 massive assets, and I think to compound the fact Liverpool are on the verge of such a successful season, I think will be even more egg in the faces of FSG to think, well, right, look, this is what this quality. I'm not saying the reason Liverpool are on the potential of success is down to these 3 players alone, but I think we've achieved this with this group of players, and you're going to let the 3 biggest assets walk out the door for nothing, and with nothing in return. And it's like, it is crazy to me, Billy. But, when you spoke about Mane, I couldn't agree more, mate. I think Salah is as a world-class player, unbelievable at what he does. But the one thing that I always rated from Mane, right, was that when Salah had the ball, it was always precedented what he was going to do. He was going to cut in and shoot with his left. With Mane, there was always that unpredictability.
Yes.
There was always that thing where you didn't know whether he was going to go left. You didn't know whether he was going to go right. He didn't know. He could literally backheel it past the goalkeeper and chip. Like, remember that goal against Watford with Foster? He controls it, back turned, chips him from a back. Like, mate, the quality was just so unpredictable constantly. Mane had that X factor that I think we can now come to the conclusion that Mane was that guy. Salah's an unbelievable player, but Mane was the footballer. Just the.
Do you know when we should have realised? We should have realised that Mane was the player, and we was getting a player. Yeah, was I mean, my bad. I should have realised it as well because I put myself in it that I didn't realise it. It's when he was with Southampton. Yeah, and I think we played them sort of like previously before in the season. Yeah, and we beat them. I think it was at Anfield, but they had a few injuries. They had quite a few injuries, yeah. But then, because Marnie didn't play when we played them at Anfield. Then we played them again the day at St. Mary's. Yeah. Played them against St. Mary's. And what happened is that, like, Mane was on the bench. And I kid you not, we was beating them, yeah? I kid you not, Mane came on, right? And the guy scored a hat-trick, you know? The guy scored a hat-trick against us. He literally turned us inside out. He literally turned Liverpool inside out, him on his own. Turned Liverpool inside out. And I think that's when we should have realised that day, well, look, this guy's some player. Because I think what it was with Klopp wanted Mane when he was at Dortmund, yeah, and Mane was at Salzburg, yeah. He wanted him, you know, obviously from back then, right? But I think what must have happened at the day, sort of like when he done that to Liverpool, when he twisted us up inside out and blah blah blah, he said, "Listen, I definitely want him." And you realize at the day that he came the following season after that, you know, he came to Liverpool the following season after that. Do you know what I mean? And he still was doing the madness. Mane at the end of the day was that guy. Mane was that guy. I'm telling you. I don't know. Seriously.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But Steve has come in with a comment. He said, Edwards will be in his job a year next month. Is this not enough time for Edwards to get both Trent, Virgil, and Salah, Konate, and Becker on new deals? And he also says, FSG are selling Alisson, Konate, Diaz, Nunez, and Elliott this summer 100%. That would be a mental clear out if that was to actually happen.
I reckon that's going to happen, you know.
That is a mental summer, you know.
I reckon that's going to happen because what's happening? See, what's happening? Remember that day, you know, you got that guy. They got that guy that bought the goalkeeper, Mamadouche. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Georgian guy.
Yeah, and he's with they loaned him back to Valencia, didn't they? And but apparently he's not really having a good time at Valencia.
No.
The thing about Mamadouche, he's not as good as Becker. He's not as good as Becker. So them getting rid of Becker and they will be a foolish move. Then getting rid of Konate will be a foolish move. Nunez, yes, I agree with because you need, you know, we need goals. Yeah. Diaz, I agree with. You need goals. Yeah. Elliott, I could probably get on board with that. Do you know what I mean? And it's, you know, so like they need to be sort of like careful in what they do.
Yeah, next season, get ready to see more poor performances like the Plymouth game. I definitely think, you know, the club need to act, you know, in advance. And, you know, maybe that was kind of the thinking behind signing, you know, the Georgian keeper with the, you know, the opportunity to kind of displace, you know, even Kelleher, if it is, you know, a backup choice. But then again, it all seems quite strange. I suppose it'll only become clearer as the time goes on. But you know, massive crossroads. I think you know this summer in regards to the amount of players that we could, you know, carry the potential to let go of. You know, coming back to this game tomorrow, you know, Billy, what is your team predictions and score predictions? Because Obviously, I remember you alluded to it at the start of the video, and that guys would recommend, if you haven't already, check out Uncle Rod's. He's got a full-on preview on his channel that he did today. What would be your team predictions and score predictions, starting 11?
Right. My prediction was for the team was Becker. Obviously, Becker in goal. Becker will be in goal. Conor Bradley as right back. Because I think what we need a strong right back and a right back that knows his job, what to do for that. You can always bring on Trent a bit later if you want to. Obviously, if you want to finish the game. Do you know what I mean? Put it beyond sort of like Aston Villa's reach. You know what I mean? With Trent's Hollywood passes and so on, so on, so on. But I think what it is at the day, the name of the game at the day, is a stiff back line at the beginning of the game. Do you know what I mean? Stiff back line. So I would have Bradley, Konate comes back in, Virgil van Dijk comes back in, obviously as a captain, and I will have Tsimikas, and because I'll put in Tsimikas because I want to give Robinson a rest for Sunday, because I think Sunday then we're going to need all the experienced players that we can muster up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
Because it's a big one. Do you know what I mean? Midfield, I'm going to have Gravenberch and Jones. I think Jones is back after suspension.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was one.
Yeah. So I'll have Jones in midfield again, because I think I want to give obviously want to give McAllister McAllister a rest. We can always bring him on later, or if we're so far ahead, we don't need to save him until Sunday. Do you know what I mean? But I think what it is with McAllister, with Jones, Jones does a good job when he's in midfield. That's why I'd rather have Jones in midfield than sort of like as a 10. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the midfield, and then on the wings, I'm having Salah on the right, and then I'm having Diego Jota on the left, because number one, Cody Gakpo is injured; he won't be playing, and there's no point in having Luis Diaz there on the left because he doesn't do anything. It's just no point. Do you know what I mean? You might as well have somebody in there that's going to make an effect on the left, and Jota would make an effect on the left. Do you know what I mean? Because he'll cut inside and try and score goals and stuff, and take on his players. So yeah, he's going to be a good outlet for left. Obviously, your number 10 is going to be Szoboszlai for his endurance, and he's in. You know what I mean? He's just like his tenacity. Do you know what I mean? His tenacity in midfield. Excuse me. Sorry, is just brilliant. You know what I mean? He gets back, he defends, he goes forward. So I like it. I do like the fact that they put him in that 10 role. However, I would like him to score more goals, but in that 10 role, he's not doing too shabby. Yeah. And then I'm having sort of like Núñez as a striker, because Núñez at the day, he's going to get the ball and he's going to run up defenders. He's going to defend. He's just going to cause chaos for them. Do you know what I mean? And I think this probably would be a good game for him to try and get a goal or two. Do you know what I mean? So that's my lineup.
Yeah, Núñez scored in this fixture 2 seasons ago. I think it was on Boxing Day. Last season's result ended in a 3-3. Bit of a difficult timing of the season, because Liverpool actually, I think, were winning 3-0, and for some reason we bottled a 3-goal lead, I think, against Villa. It was quite a mental game there. Let me try and get through a few comments. Steve says, I'd rather play with 10 players than start Szoboszlai, Robbo or Tsimikas. He also goes on to say, my 11 tomorrow would be Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Bradley, Dom, Mac and Ryan, Jota, Mo and Núñez. So yeah, interesting. You've started both Trent and Bradley there.
He's pushing Trent. He's putting. Where's he playing Trent then?
Yeah, where would you play Trent then, Steve? Because obviously Bradley would play in that right back position. He's obviously gone for Dom, Mac and Ryan, Jota, Mo and Núñez in a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1. Even that, where you playing? Because like
Has he got? Unless he's going to play Bradley as left back.
Yeah, no, I can't see a
I
world
think
in
he's
which-
the way he's got it, I can't see it happening. But the way he's got it, he's playing Bradley as
Yeah, he's gone Bradley left
yeah,
back.
left back. No, that's not going to work. Sorry, that's not
Yeah.
going to work. He's not a left back. Nah,
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I can't see that personally, Steve. I don't know if that one will come off. But yeah, interesting. Each to their own. Obviously, he's also said this was a comment that FSG selling Allison. They want his wages off the payroll. And I actually think when I read this comment initially, Steve does have a point here, because when you actually break down the situation individually, when he puts it all together, it looks overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? But like said, that selling Becker, they want his wages off the payroll. They can get 40-50 million for him. Canati rejected FSG lowball offer. PSG, Madrid want him. Diaz and Nunes both off to Saudi, and Arnie don't rate Elliott. When you actually break down individually, I mean, you can see a world and a potential where that does happen. Look, on the whole, back to the game. What is your score prediction, Billy, and who takes all 3 points? You said if that 11 starts, Liverpool will get the result. How do you think the game pans out tomorrow?
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I think what Liverpool's going to do, they're going to do, as I said, do enough just to win, get the 3 points, and just some game management. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're 2-0 up, what happens is they have to come for you. You don't have to go for them. Do you know what I mean? You know, as long as they don't bloody give away the ball in their passes and that. 2-0, yeah, I can 2-0. 2-0 will see us over the line. Do you know what I mean? And I tip Salah to score. I tip Salah to score 1 and Nunes to score 1.
Yeah, that is. I'd say that's a realistic prediction, especially given the fact Nunes has, scored against Villa. But then, looking at Salah, how prolific he is in front of goal. Steve said Villa is a banana skin game tomorrow. We win ugly again tomorrow, i.e. Wolves. I think I don't know if it's a banana skin game, because I think I'm coming to the conclusion that Villa are a difficult outfit. Have an identity, have a way of playing. Unai Emery has definitely got a tune out with his players. I think, orchestrated the transfer window very, very well, keeping the likes of Watkins, but also bringing in the likes of European talent, elsewhere from like the likes of Daniel Marlon. I think they brought in Asensio as well, which I think for Villa was a good window. And to raise, I think, £100 million in fees, I think they let go of the likes of, I think it was Douglas Luiz, a few different players as well, but they managed to raise.
I think that guy went, didn't he? That Colombian guy went, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't quite think of the name, but yeah, there was quite a few players that went. They raised quite a lot of money. So Unai Emery's forming an identity, he's forming a brand away from home Wednesday night. I think it could be a difficult one, but I'm going to root for Liverpool. I definitely think, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the statement. And if Liverpool are to produce a statement, as we're kind of anticipating them to do, I think they will. But he says also Klopp played Bradley left back. He's also played left back for his national team.
I've never seen him play left back for Liverpool. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've not seen that. I seem to remember someone saying he might have played left back for Northern Ireland before. But to be honest, I doubt I see that tomorrow. I really do. I don't think Slot will go for that. Obviously, that's what you've gone for. But I don't know. I'm not quite in that same mindset that will happen. Steve also says Emery's game plans attack off fullbacks with pace. It's going to be a long night. So a bit of a pessimistic outlook there from Steve. But Rods, you've gone for a 2-0. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think we'll just about get the job done, and I think we'll win ugly. I think it'll be a difficult night, but I think will put us in a good position going into Sunday. 10 points clear against a Man City side looking to build on. I think all this talk being made about Liverpool, are they feeling the pressure? You're bound to. Slot's come out in the media today. Slot's come out in the media today and said, look, the pressure of winning the league this season is bigger than that of the 1920 season, and I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that. Every Liverpool fan can get behind that, because when you've got someone breathing down the neck of you in a league season, it's obviously going to be difficult. Arsenal, are doing well to kind of stay within the conversation, albeit by the slightest of margins, but they are very much still there. So Liverpool need to nullify that chance, and it's not like when we were 25 points clear this time 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So
you're gonna feel the pressure, and that's a mark of a good team, that you can get over the line and feel the pressure. Do you know what I mean? Do you want to know the results for tonight? Who's gone through?
Yeah, go for it. Let's I haven't actually kept up to date with them, but
it's hold on. Final have gone through.
Right.
Yeah. It was 1-1 on the night, but 2-1 on aggregate. What's it? Oh, bloody hell. Club Brugge, they've gone through 3-1, and they beat sort of like Atalanta 3-1, but 5-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
Celtic went out. Yeah, they lost. There was 1-1 a night, but they lost 3-2 in aggregate. You know what I mean? They're a bit good account of themselves, really.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get thumped away. I thought they would come out that game.
But it did. Yeah, they made a good account of themselves. Benfica have gone through. Benfica beat Monaco. It was 3-3 in the night, but 4-3 to Benfica on aggregate. So that's these 4 teams have gone through. These 4 teams have gone through, and now it's down to tomorrow. See who goes through tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it'd be very interesting tomorrow. I suppose that day I'll be keeping one eye on obviously the Champions League game as well. You know what I mean, to see like who's going through or not, because obviously Man City are playing to one, which are 3-2 down. And I said to this guy across the road from me, I said, like, I just don't see Man City going through. I just don't see Man City going through. Even when they played the first leg, I had a feeling that Real Madrid would win. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
they just have that way about them, especially in the Champions League, don't they? They just have that knack about them to get a result.
I think what it is, since Walker left Man City, it's just like they haven't looked the same. They didn't realize how important Walker was for Man City.
I know. I think when you look at City, their build-up play is really, really poor compared to what they were seasons ago, right? And I think, since City really performed poorly, so many people are quick to scapegoat Walker. And yes, it's natural when you're a player who primes his game on that, that pace, 1v1 pace. He was the best at it, really, 1v1 defending. I think no one could really, match him or, beat him in pace, really, realistically. You obviously had the likes of Dembele who knocked it past him before, but like one-on-one defending, he'd always had the edge. And it's natural when a player gets older, they lose that yard of pace. They have to evolve their game. The team have to, adapt and evolve with that player as well. But I think there's so much more that we don't know about that's going on at City. It's just really bizarre, some of the things like, I think there's a weird dynamic with De Bruyne and Pep. A weird dynamic going on there. Just like their body language and the way he comes back from injury and he just doesn't go straight in. Like, obviously, I've got to build back your fitness, but the way Pep utilizes him, the body language, the football, there's something going on there. I'm really in that camp. And obviously Pep's had his issues off the field, so maybe that, coincides with it to an extent. But I'm in the camp that there's, serious problems. And, with this game tomorrow, I can't see a world in which they get a result, away from home against a Real Madrid side who are, destined in this competition to always find a way to do it.
That's what it's about.
But I think it'll take a lot out of City. And, we were talking about at the start of the video, I think that game tomorrow has the capacity and carries the potential to take a lot out of City, and then that could play into our hands when we play them on Sunday. It's important to look at it not just time. You know what I mean? So look,
you're right.
Sets up a game this Sunday, but more importantly tomorrow, let's go 10 points clear. That is the aim, Uncle Rods. Thank you very much, personally, mate, for coming onto the channel.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
If you wouldn't mind plugging your channel, it would honestly be great to have some of my people coming over and supporting the work that you're doing over on there. So I really appreciate you coming on, man. Yeah,
listen, no problem. My pleasure. And it's been a really, really good and interesting chat. So my pleasure. My pleasure coming on. Listen, you guys can find me at Uncle Rods on YouTube, Anfield Uncle Rods on YouTube. Also Anfield Uncle Rods on Instagram, likewise on Twitter, or if you want to call it X. That's where you can find me. I do like content like this, and come over, say hello. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's welcome, even though you're not like a fan of Liverpool. You're still welcome, as long as you're courteous. It's all good. But yeah, pleasure being on tonight, bro. Pleasure being on.
I really, really appreciate that, mate. And guys, please go and check out Uncle Rods. Like I said before, doing some brilliant stuff over there. We can't lose tomorrow, and I'm in the camp. Me and Rods share the same opinion that we will get the result. Thank you very much, guys, for watching the Clutch Conversations episode number 1. It would be great to get a bit of feedback on this, and also try and get a few guests on. It's been my pleasure to get Rods on for the debut, and looking forward to doing more of this. So thank you very much, guys. Take care, and we'll speak soon. Ta-ra.
God bless.